During Madden 16's run, it was seen as a controversial title with the new aggressive catch mechanic, causing many broken controllers. But seeing where Madden has gone in the 4 titles since, especially with Madden 20 turning the franchise into a cross of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, I look back at Madden 16 fondly, and after seeing what was introduced that year and what made its last appearance in the Madden series, is it crazy to think 16 was the most enjoyable Madden on current gen consoles? Let's get into it. Yeah, you can throw out that Madden 16 was offensively slanted, but what Madden hasn't been? Very few. But it was a lot different than say how Madden 20 is offensively slanted. 16 had fullback dive and toss, another year's inside zone, Madden 20 had stretch. There's always 1 or 2 OP runs. But this was the Madden that introduced the possession, rack, and of course the controversial aggressive catch. Possession catches made throws down the middle easier, and rack catches gave guys running starts on passes they shouldn't get running starts on if you did it right. It was great. But the big one, of course, was when everybody discovered that, oh, I could just throw it up and moss people at a high rate. Okay, what is your guys' opinion on this? I mean, yeah, now this wasn't the most skillful thing to do, but this is also the Madden where nanos were still running wild, and with base cover 3's issues versus 4 verts, you needed to bring the heat. And man defense was actually usable, especially 2-man under. Stiff won the Madden championship that year because of aggressive catches. A buddy of mine, Mr. Smith, hates this Madden because of this, but it wasn't really that bad. The biggest issue was the frequency of one-handed catches made it seem worse than it was in my opinion. I mean, check it, was it worse than people face catching or swerving, which takes more skill? I'm not even arguing for the legitimacy of it really. 16 was just the last year before blitzes got more family friendly, and Mike's scrape 3 press or stuff of that ilk weren't coming in hot and fast anymore. Basically, the defense had tools in the toolbox to combat it. It was a cheese fest all around. But it made you respect top receiver skills. Stiff didn't win Mossing with Taylor Gabriel, he had Gronk. If you dared stray from that blueprint and run some base coverage, you had a chance to get mossed. This was understood. I mean, we rely on the computer to get pressure while we use or whoever, and plenty of other things. Why can't I lob a deep ball to Odell Beckham, huh? Now, franchise mode actually received big upgrades as well. Being able to go into practice mode and play with your team was huge. I remember I used to go to create a team with a buddy with the players I had on my team in the league just to play with my guys. I spent and still do so much time in this mode finding the perfect offense or defense for my squad and where to line up guys and how he plays this route or makes this cut. It was an about time upgrade, but I loved it no less. The speed at which you gained XP was greatly nerfed also. Note, this was back when you could upgrade any stat you wanted on your player. So if you wanted your receivers to be excellent run blockers, you could do that. So Maddens before that, people had monsters on offense and defense with 95 speed everywhere because you were getting XP for just tying your shoes. It definitely made it harder to build players up. And this was also when the draft process was revamped as well. This is the first year you couldn't scout specific ratings on the player and relied on the new combine to show you all the good stuff like how fast he could be and how high he could jump. And we're giving the players position-specific top 3 ratings to use your scouting points on now. I don't know about you guys, but if that first rating was anything less than a B, I was out of there, unless his 40 time was nice. And an underrated one was they also tweaked the confidence rating, which I wasn't a fan of in 15 as it further separated the good from the bad players. It was already terrible playing dudes who were, let's say, 13-2 or something like that, but when they had 5+ boost everywhere, it was hard to combat when your team was all depressed. It wasn't cool. Madden 16 had some things I disliked, of course, like the lack of natural pass rush and 4 verts turning everybody into Mike Leach. But as a whole, and over the course of the 7 Maddens released on current gen, it's without a doubt the most enjoyable experience I've had during the Madden season. So with that, what do you guys think? What is your favorite current gen Madden and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And stay tuned here at Sports Gamers Online for more Madden content. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. I'm Chris. Thank y'all for watching. And be good, y'all.